in this link, you can jump to the Dropbox files and including this presentation material and then the sample GTFS, which is for the tram route in the GTFS in the Sarajevo. And some 聞こえますこれ聞こえてるじゃん。はい。And some so-called Mielka tool. This is a tool, the development assistant tool in the Microsoft Excel. So this presentation material is already shared with you. So from this first page link, you can jump to these tools. Okay. Then this is the table of contents, and the presentation is totally 58 pages. So there is no, I don't plan to explain deeply one by one. So according to this presentation material and possibly some development assistant tools, I would like you to, if you are interested in the GTFS development, I would like you try to develop the GTFS by yourselves. And if you have any trouble or problem questions, you can refer the presentation materials. And in this link, and I share the WhatsApp contact address for the WhatsApp, so that you can freely contact with me and about the questions. Of course, the email is also welcome. Then this is the table of contents. The first one is an overview of the GTFS and what is the GTFS. And third one is the so-called user manual of the common input tool. And who, what shall, and how to develop the maintain GTFS will be explained a little bit. Yes. As an overview, the GTFS is a general transit feed specification defined by Google. And it is previously called as the Google Transit Feed Specification. However, in the nearly 3 or 4 years before, it is changed as the General Transit Feed Specifications. It is to enables it make the uniform information provision and route search on the Google Map and other map information services. And currently, many bus operators try to change or convert the bus information into the GTFS format to make reflect in the unified bus route search information. Then this is the example of the GTFS, which was developed for the cities of Kigali in Rwanda, which I developed for some bus route for the bus routes operated by the bus companies. For example, from the origin to destinations is typed in the Google Map. Yes, as well as the car and walking navigations, the navigations using the public transport, including their bus, is shown. And not only the Google Map, there are so many mapping or transit applications. I'm not sure there's such kind of applications. However, basically, the GTFS is also utilized to develop such kind of mobile applications which provides the route bus public transport information. And not only for the Google Map and the mobile phone applications, the GTFS is utilized for such kind of digital information service at the bus stop. Yes. And for example, in each bus stop, the route operation schedule is when the route operation schedule is available. and such kind of route mapping informations also can be available and provided to the citizens. So even for the peoples don't have a smartphone, a smartphone with the network service, the such kind of informations can be provided and to improve the convenience for their citizens. Yes, and it's a very general and popular image. However, most of them, most of people feel some difficulties about to develop the GTFS. GTFS is composed of so many .txt files. You can see, and this is in the example of the Sarajevo cities. Yes, there is it is the contents of the GTFS. It came from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 13 text files. And for example, the agency information is a little bit like this. Yes. So only the text files can be seen from the GTFS files. Yes, and so in the following pages, let me show about what kind of information must be filled in the GTFS .txt files. First one, the agency.txt defines the agency that provides the transport service indicated by the GTFS dataset. Agency ID is also can be filled by yourselves and the public transport operator's agency name and the URL and the agency's specific time zone and the language, phone number, email address. Such kind of basic informations also necessary to introduce GTFS. Oh, sorry. Then this is stop.txt, meaning the information of the bus stops, which the public transport stops. And the route informations is also there about including the route ID and agency ID is from the agency.txt and what kind operated by which company, which operator, and the short name and the long name of the route. You know that if the route number is filled there, #201 and from CBD to street Saint Joseph area, such kind of route informations must be filled. And one of the bytes, and according to the route color settings, yes, the color of the route in the Google map also may be changed like this. But this is also the unique characteristics of the GTFS. And the trip informations is according to the so-called, there is a inbound trip and outbound trips and weekday trips and weekend trips and the trip by times must be defined by the one by one according to the regulation of the GTFS format. And the stop times is the most difficult part to be inputted. This shows the travel time between bus stops are necessary to be inputted. Yes. For example, in this area, according to the service trip ID, then the arrival time is 8 a.m. and the departure time is 8 a.m. And from this bus stop and to the bus stop, next bus stop, the arrival time is 8:02 and 8:03 or 3:30. Such kind of bus route information are operation schedule informations must be defined. And one of the points such kind of information can't be filled. So we need to someone think they need to give up to develop GTFS. However, no need to be more such specific, strictly concise to fill in the concise numbers. So how to estimate such kind of information? There are so many ways. Reviewing the operation records, and sometimes it can be the GPS tracking information can be utilized, and the actual survey also sometimes to be conducted. But anyways, in other way, in any ways, the such kind of operation schedules, travel time between bus stop and bus stops is filled by the in the GTFS. This calendar meanings are according to the Monday to Sunday that this service is operated or not. For example, weekday operations, Monday to Friday, everything is 1, and Saturday and Sunday is 0. And weekends, Monday to Friday is 0. Saturday and Sunday is 1. And in some, there is some special holidays is scheduled, which is unclear for the Google. So the such kind of special date, for example, in the some Christmas Day or New Year's Day. In that case, in that basis, the operation condition may be different with the other weekday. So there such kind of special day must be filled, defined in this table, in this text file. And the frequency meanings are that one of the methodology to develop the GTFS, and even if the specific timetable information is not available, and the headway informations is defined. For example, on the weekday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and the operation schedule is 3600, meaning so 1 hour frequency. 1 hour operated by the 1 hour headway, 30 minutes headway, and 2100 meaning it's nearly 35 minutes headway can be defined if such kind of information is available from the bus operators. Such kind of data format is also can be considered as the alternative of the operation schedule. But the Google is recommended to make a specific timetable for the bus services, which is 30 minutes or higher frequency, or longer headways. Why? It's because then if the passengers feel anxiously about when the bus service frequency is too long. So for that cases, the specific time zone, specific operation schedule must be provided to the citizens. So for the operators, including the public bus and the rail operator also, for the long, if the frequency is small, when the small frequency is small, and the specific timetable in this hour, 6 a.m., 6:10, 6:20, 6:30, 6:46. So more specific timetable must be developed and provided to the citizen. And shape.txt is one of the optional records. Yes, and as this is one optional, meaning that there is not required to develop the GTFS. However, if this shape.txt is not provided, then the GTFS is displayed as the so-called straight line between the bus stops. Yes, it's not so beautiful. That's why the .txt files meanings are to develop the shape. Shape meanings are uh, point to develop the line of the bus or other public transit routes. And the yes, it is also a little bit complicated to develop. However, you can develop by the other in some way. So there's no need to worry about this issue. And for the other files means including the fair attributes and the fair rules and some pathway transfer.txt. Such kind of informations are also optional. Under the following about the following text files that I would like you to check the difference from about the links to the which Google provided. Yes, according to these explanations, yes. For example, you can see the stop times informations. Yes, from you can see that there is so many the text. It is including the 69. 違うな。379 text. Yes, in the weekday, 6 a.m. It's from this station to this station, this station, this station. I think you can't develop to such kind of very complicated TXT files to show the transit informations on the Google Map or other mobile applications. So there are so many providers develop the so-called assistant tools for developing the GTFS. And one of the tools is the Mielka Common Input Format. Mielka meaning the visualizations. And this tool is originally developed by the Japanese public transport operators called as Public Transportation Promotion Network, and to support to make GTFS. And the Almec Corporations has updated the tools for multilingualization so that they can write in the English and the other local language, and the simplifications also conducted under the previous JICA project. And the multilingualizations and simplification is conducted by this public transport promotion network, which is the developer of these tools. And so the manual was developed by the Almec also, but based on the original one, which this agency developed. It is better to show this Mielka tool from this table. これてるかな。もう聞こえてます。This table shows the Mielka common input format. Yes. Then this is the menu pages. Then the creation procedure is described in one by one about including the agency informations and the bus stop informations and the operating data information and the timetable information and the trip information and how to create the GTFS is also can be conducted in this Excel files only. And to make it to use these tools, you need to make the macro functions of the Excel be. So that I would like you to check about the setting of your PC. So according to the workflows in this page, I would like you to check the presentation files and the Excel file one by one. Yes. inputting the necessary information of the public transport. As I showed, that yes, enable content, the macro must be conducted. And this is regions, and yes, and the green table, green column shows the items necessary to fill, and the other colors is automatically filled and optionally filled. Yes, and the history shown in there. Yes, this is the for the internal use. Yes, sometimes this tool is developed and updated by the multiple persons. In that cases, what kind of modifications, changes is conducted shall be filled clearly like this. Yes, the first column is the basic informations into yes, and the Mr. Deo help us to include the informations of the trams トロリーバスだっけこれトロリーバスかトロリーバス in Sarajevo cities. Yes. Okay. Then this the basic information tabs, operator name and the route map timetable URL and type of transport service and the operator's name and the language code must be filled. Next is the trips. Yes, trip information by route, meaning when you consider about the trolleybus routes and the origin is J0TR to Otoka TR. And the next is the return trips, meaning the Otoka to J0. Like this, the route informations, including the bus route number, and the route number, and long name of the route, and origin and destinations must be filled. Yes, and the operating date is also yes. Like this, there is some variety of the operating information. For example, in some cities, and Monday is the special operating day. In that cases, like this, according to the operating schedule by day, the so-called operation pattern must be defined in this table. Then, according to the Deo-san's explanations, the operation characteristics of the trolley bus doesn't change between the weekday and the weekend. So I selected this so-called common operation patterns. And as for the next column shows in the public holidays, which must be then the usual operation is not defined in this the date. And bus stop informations also must be filled according to the bus stop ID and the bus stop name and the longitude and latitude. These items are necessary to be inputted. And this one also, Deo-san provided the GIS files of the bus stops and other transit stops informations also. Now also only trolley bus route is developed in these times. However, one of the points developer of the GTFS are supposed to be the bus operator, rail operator, and the trolley bus operator, respectively. However, then such kind of bus stop informations must be commonly shared and utilized. Otherwise, for example, if the bus stop IDs and the bus stop names doesn't match by the mode, so there it is not convenient for the user side. Yes, in sometimes bus stop names doesn't is not same according for the same locations. In that cases, the bus users, citizens are confused which bus stop we need to visit. So there among the bus, I, okay, 聞こえる among the bus operator, among the every operators, and only one so-called common bus stop database must be used. This is a principle, one of the principle of the developing the GTFS. And on the other hand, in the Nairobi city, yes, actually GTFS is already developed. However, the bus stop information doesn't seem to be shared among the operators or developers. So their usability of the GTFS in the Nairobi city is not good. So this is the issues for the developing the GTFS by the multiple operators or multiple developers. Yes, and then the following the table, I need to explain about what kind of operating schedule must be filled. Yes, and this page shows the so-called operating pattern, which can be must be filled. For example, in some bus, when you consider in some bus, basically operating from bus stop 1 to 5. However, in some cases, the operating only between 1 to 3. In sometimes, and so for such kind of complicated operation pattern is conducted, the developing the GTFS timetable also must be complicated. Okay. Then yes. Then the route original seat. This is to develop the operation schedule of the public transport. When you check the this is original files to make new seat. And when you click here, and please enter the name of the line. I'm not sure the route names, however. Yes, new route sheet, blank new seat is developed. Don't need to. I don't need now. So I I would like you to jump to the existing one. This is the trolley bus 102 route. Yes, from J0 station K0. I'm not sure how to call this bus stop information. However, the following 14 buses, trolley bus stops are existed. And according to the operation schedules, the time at the bus stops is filled like this. Yes, and some columns shows the some to give the special order about their operations. For example, and when the bus or what some transit service is stopped around 15 or 20 minutes before at the intermediate bus stops, and you need to fill in arrival and departure, but in the same bus route, bus stop names must be filled, and the boarding and alighting is not allowed at in some bus stops. The following boarding, no alighting rules must be filled. Such kind of parameter can be set in this tool. Yes. And to develop such kind of operation schedule for the trolley bus, Deo-san provided the result of the survey, onboarding survey for the buses, trolley buses. So according to the result of the survey, for example, the arriving the Otoka station 9:46 and departing 9:49 and arriving to next station 9:82 and leaving earlier. And the next arriving to the rational station and 9:53. But following informations can be converted into such kind of format of the timetables. And you can fill in, you can just copy and paste on the tables so that the operation schedules is can be introduced. Yes, and of course, for if there are routes in your cities, that it is very difficult to fill in such kind of operation schedules. So I just developed the other timetable preparation tools, which is for the also included in the uploaded folders. And this is the so-called travel time estimation tools. Yes, and the timetable by trip is of course necessary. However, sometimes it is very difficult. And so this tool is to simply estimate the travel time between stops and the preparation the timetables from the latitude and longitude of every bus stop. Then this is came from the other countries' informations and in Rwanda. And for example, the Nyanza Park. And you need to fill in the following informations. Operating hours in the on-peak hours and off-peak hour. So that in the peak hour, the bus is in average 45 minutes. Then the off-peak hour, it is estimated by 30 minutes. So that just fill in the following information. And then the creation and according to the bus stop is filled and the bus stop information is already stored in this table. The latitude and longitude is shown in this table in these columns, and the distance between this shown the direct distance between the stops can be emerged. Yes. Then according to this travel minutes and the distance between the bus stops, when you check in this, this here, yes, like this, the travel times between bus stops is easily estimated. Of course, this result might not be strictly same with the actual situation. However, sometimes it is depend on the traffic condition. Yes. So Google's Google's evaluation and Google's so-called validation is not so strict if there such kind of information is filled. So you can just copy and paste on this timetable informations on our Mielka tool like this. So that when if you have some you are motivated to develop the GTFS by yourselves, I would like you to utilize this timetable preparation tools. And this shows the yes, operating bus stop and define peak hours and off-peak hours, and define the travel time in peak hour and off-peak hour, and check the average travel time in peak and off-peak hour. Yes, and define the departure time of the first stop and the first trips, and define the frequency by time series like this. So the timetables by by directions. By directions is automatically filled like this. Also it is. I think it is a little bit complicated and not so unclear for yourselves. However, if when you like to try to develop the GTFS by yourselves, I hope that this materials will help to you for your understandings. Yes. Yes. And when you develop the schedule only the GTFS in the frequency files, and the following informations is when the following informations from 6 to 759, the frequency is 20, well, 80 to 12, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. These informations can be converted into the such kind of GTFS format. So that when you utilize this informations like this, you can just convert it into the text files as you like. Yes, and how to estimate the travel time and the frequency? But there are various ways, as I already said. If you are bus operators and you introduce the GPS in all buses, the GPS informations can be utilized for developing the travel time and frequency also. And if there some dispatching staffs are assigned at the bus terminals or major bus stops, the following the passing time or departing arrival time informations can be utilized to develop the such kind of operation schedules. And if both are not available, then the manual survey at the terminals, for example, like this bus plate number and bus plate number and travel arrival time and departure time is automatically filled. This result can be utilized for the following timetable informations. Yes, and this is that's all for the necessary information, and there the checkpoint for before developing the GTFS. Yes, and exports. Step 2 is export the GTFS, and when the stop type trips and the route sheets are completed, you can execute by click on the create time sheet by trips. Let me try this.
Before you continue to explain step 2, if you have a question, you can still do it again. 大丈夫です。はい。続けてください。
Yes, and times and so-called stops and time seat will be created automatically. Yes, and next is making the fair input files also. Fair files is optional files. However, the Mielka tools will support to develop the fair input files also. Then this is the table shows the fair files for the Mielka tools. Yes, and yes, according that this is a fair tables. From the station to station, how much you need to pay must be filled in the form. And if the flat fare rate is introduced, that you can just fill in this table, these items. And yes, when you export GTFS, you can just fill in the following informations, and sheet has not. Later I will check about the information failures. Anyway, when you develop the GTFS data completely, then according to this procedure, you can develop the GTFS into some files. And then this you can check about this column, these items, expiration date. Yes, meaning when this data is expired must be filled. Yes, according of course the public transport need to check and change the operation date, usually annually or seasonally. If the operation schedule must be changed, and the GTFS also must be changed. So if the operations change date is fixed or known by you, and this the specific date must be filled in this form. This is one of the critical points of the data provision. So that providing the old or previous data may cause the confusion among the passengers. So the GTFS developer must worry about the so-called the data provision date and the accuracy of the data. This is the check step 4 in the checking the exported GTFS files. Yes. Then when the GTFS is developed by the Mielka tools in the same folder, and the GTFS is developed, then the following information is already shown. Then making the every files in the zip files. Making the zip files from the following text files, it is just the standard format of the GTFS. And there are various tools to validate the GTFS which you made. Then in the following table, I showed in the GTFS validator. And someone is offline and someone is online. And when you jump to these pages and just upload the GTFS, this service will GTFS what kind of program can be seen and how to devise it. There is some missing column or something. But someone is not, and this error and warnings. And so the warnings are sometimes okay. However, errors must be revised as well. But this one is also can be seen. And this is the previous format of the GTFS validator. And then the so-called, there are so many items, and the most typical one is the too fast travel times. Yes. And the bus stop A and B is far from, the distance is nearly 4 kilometers. However, you can arrive in 1 minute. And it means the bus's operation speed is 200 to 4 kilometers per hour very fast. So sometimes it is something is wrong. So I need to check it. In that cases, maybe the similar bus stop name, different bus stop is defined in the stop txt files. So the very far locations is located along the route. As the result, the very high operation speed can be found. And some schedule viewer shown there. How to show in the Google Map or other mapping applications can be checked in this table. And this is also for the Japanese website. However, the GTFS test viewer, partly it is Japanese. However, you can change in the translation function of the Google Chrome, and you can upload on the this table and GTFS, and so you can show, you can check about how the GTFS of Trolleybus 102 can be seen on this viewer. Yes, and after submitting Google, it's actually more taking time sometimes. Yes, and you need to jump to the Google Transit partner to submit this GTFS form. Then the following some necessary input must be filled like this. Yes, organization name and the website, and organization type, and name and email address. And you can see the URL or your organization website is necessary input, meaning that when you would like to try to submit GTFS to Google, the website, of course, must be provided to the Google. Otherwise, the Google can't validate the accuracy of your GTFS. So the first principle of the GTFS is at first, you need to develop your website also. Then this is the principle of the Google the GTFS. So the website of the public transport operators, following items must be stated on the website. Yes. And the Google Transit is currently open to transit agencies that provide transportation service that meets the following criteria. There must be a fixed schedule or reliable schedule for frequency-based systems. So the irregular operations is not allowed to develop the GTFS. So in that regulations, bus in Nairobi can't be submit the GTFS. However, I'm not sure. And there must be no reservations for seats. So so-called long distance intercity bus is not allowed, basically. And ticket must be purchasable on board or at the station or boarding point. And the critical one, it must be open to the public, and the commuters may use it for their general traveling purpose. I'm not sure the definition well. However, the following information is necessary. So then there is a part of this GTF, and of course, therefore, to prove the following criteria on the website, following bus stop alignment and headway of the route must be stated in the website. There's a part of our project activities. I develop the website as a JICA, part of the JICA, as a part of public relations activities of our technical assistance. So the following information can be filled, and in the route information pages, we can jump to the route information website, route map, and the headway, and the operation intervals. Yes, estimated travel times can be seen. And I uploaded the Google form, Google spreadsheet, so that when the operation schedule is changed, I can edit this table directly. But this is an example in other countries also. This is a Myanmar. Yes, YBPC. Sometimes it's a local language is included. However, the route informations must be filled. Following headway also, route map. Yes. Then when we submitting the GTFS with the website information on the Google Transit Teams, Google make so many comments about the data format of the GTFS, and I will take 2 to 3 weeks to reply to the all comments from the Google. So then there is you need to make a big effort to reply and revise and react about the comments from the Google. And through this process, the GTFS will be displayed in the Google Map first, and it can be shared with the developer of the public transport information service application. So as we said in previously, and for the making GTFS itself is not so difficult, and with the support of the assistance tools and some experts, I think you can develop and introduce the GTFS in near futures. However, how to maintain the GTFS information is also necessary. Only if the actual situation is changed, operation status is changed, but the GTFS is not reflected. There is a confusion among the citizens, and that will causing the reliability of public transport service and the public transport authorities must be damaged. So when you try to develop GTFS by yourselves, how to maintain, how to update the GTFS also considered in the middle or long term. This is critical and very only one and critical concern about the GTFS. Okay, the presentation is finished, so that's all for my presentation session.